Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer talk, quick roundup of the latest Aston Villa rumours. Please smash that like button and please hit the subscribe button. We are marching on to 5,000 subscribers, very, very close to 4.5k. We want to hit 5k before the start of the season, so you can help us do that by hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get your comments below on your thoughts on the latest transfer rumours circulating Villa Park. So quite a few outgoings potential to talk about today. Obviously, the John Duran drama saga, whatever you want to call it, is carrying on. We've got links with Diego Carlos moving away and Alex Moreno, and also Xiao Felix talks continue. So let's start with John Duran. I mean, where do we go with this guy? It's the saga has gone on and on and on and on. Now, apparently, his agents are becoming more and more concerned that Aston Villa haven't accepted the offer that West Ham have put in so far, believed to be around the 35 million mark. Obviously, it was 32 million. They were talking about a player coming in as well at that point. That's been rejected now. West Ham have moved their attentions to Nicholas Fulkrug, and apparently today he's left the Dortmund training camp to potentially go for a medical or to explore the deal or talk with West Ham. But also on the side of that, they are still interested in John Duran. Aston Villa have stood firm with their valuation of him, and until that valuation is met, they won't allow him to move on, and which is well within Aston Villa's rights. And obviously, his agent is now becoming more and more desperate. There was potential interest in Saudi, but that seems to have cooled. So all the eggs now are in this basket for West Ham. Now, I think it's not entirely out of the question that they wouldn't sign both players. Obviously, that's going to be a big outlay for them. And it's not entirely out of the question that Aston Villa wouldn't accept, maybe a certain amount of money up front and then more in add-ons as appearances or bonuses or whatever was achieved. So I think there's still a deal to be done, but apparently the decision needs to be made within the next 24, 48 hours. So it is decision time with John Duran. I mean, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think we're better off with him gone and we would take the money and spend it elsewhere. There's obviously been talk of other forwards, other strikers that we might be able to sign. But would he come back with his tail between his legs, after all of this kind of messing about over pre-season? Would he be able to integrate back into the squad? Could you, as a Villa fan, potentially welcome him back in and forgive and forget sort of thing? So let me know your thoughts because he's under contract with Aston Villa. If no bid comes in, would we be relying on him potentially throughout the season? He's not trained with the squad or anything like that. Is he going to report back for training next week? It's an interesting one to think about, but I think within the next 24, 48 hours, something will happen with him and we will be a lot clearer. But for me, we need to move on, get the money for him. West Ham, they know the valuation. If they really want him, meet that valuation, and then we take it from there. And we hopefully are able to sign a player in exchange for that because we've got a fair bit of money now. Other outgoings, we know the squad needs trimming. So Diego Carlos has been interesting, Fulham and possibly even Sevilla. And slightly strange behaviour from Diego Carlos. Apparently, he deleted or he posted picture of him with Sevilla or in Sevilla kit or something like that, saying that he wanted to go back and has done something with his social media. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but again, just like strange behaviour. And is he is he aiming for a move away from the club? Are there more talks going on behind the scenes? Is it more advanced him moving on from the club than we're led to believe? He's obviously out in America with the squad. He's at one of our highest earners, so potentially could be one that we do move on. Initial talks have been held with Fulham. And as I say, Sevilla also potentially interested. For me, I would probably look to move him on, but it then does leave us very short in that centre back position. We have Ezri Konsa, we have Pau Torres. Apparently, Tyrone Mings is nearing fitness and could be back as early as September. So that would be great news. But I still think we probably need one more. Josh Feeney, young player, has gone out on loan to Shrewsbury, just agreed today. So he won't be featuring. He'll get much more experience going out on loan, which is great for him. Mario Hermoso apparently signed up with an agency that is heavily linked to players in the UK, including Samuel Illing Jr. So is that something where we're going to sign him over the next couple of weeks? and potentially he would be the fourth centre back. So yeah, interesting stuff. But for me, I think if we could cash in on Diego Carlos, get some money back for him, gets him off the wage bill, and we know we need to trim the squad. So I think he's a good player, but I think there's areas of inconsistency with him, and I do worry about the high line with Diego Carlos at times. And I guess the passing quality hasn't always been there with him, and that's meant to be one of his attributes. And we haven't really seen his strength from set pieces as well. So, yeah, good player, but I think one we could maybe improve on for sure. The final one in terms of the outgoings is Alex Moreno, and he's interested in clubs in Spain, again Sevilla, Villarreal, and Valencia. And again, we're looking at a potential player who we could move on. Ian Matson, I believe, will take on that role as the number one left back. And Luca Dean had an excellent season last season, in my opinion. So I do think, again, if there's a player we could maybe look to move on. Few more injuries he had last season. Obviously, came in the season before in the January and did fantastically well and played very well in parts last season. But some of those injuries may well have caught up with him, and maybe Unai Emery's looking at the squad and thinking, okay, that is an area where we could maybe trim it. And if we can get some money for him and move him on, then I think it's a potential one to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Diego Carlos, Alex Moreno are those two players that you could potentially see moving on. And finally, again, this Xiao Felix, it seems like a player that we really, really want. Unai Emery believes he is the player to come into Aston Villa and really take us to the next level if everything is led, if we're all led to believe the stories. And we've had initial talks with his agents. And I think he's probably looking at Villa as a bit more of an attractive proposition. Barcelona is obviously the number one choice. Whether they can stump up the money, whether Atletico Madrid want to sell to Barcelona, he's clearly not wanted at Atletico Madrid, remains to be seen. Benfica have pulled out of the race and a number of other clubs have pulled out of the race. So it looks like Aston Villa can bide their time, see what Barcelona do, and if they don't come up with the money or they don't actually want the player, then I think he's very open to the idea of coming to Aston Villa. And I would really welcome it. I think he'd be an excellent player. I think working under Unai Emery, and I think it'd be a really good chance for him to really push on and progress and potentially take us on to that next level. Certainly in the Champions League, he gives us a little bit of X factor. So that would be one to watch. And I think probably towards the end of the window, if that's likely to happen, then that will. So yeah, that's kind of it for the transfer news. Louis Barry signed a new deal, gone out to Stockport on loan, and as I said, Josh Feeney going out to Shrewsbury on loan. So really good moves for those players. We talked about that with Academy AVFC the other day, so do check out that episode. Really, really good. If the insight that he has on the youth team and the academy is just wonderful, fantastic, and he's a great credit to the club and what information he provides to the supporters. So yeah, do check out that episode, and lots of things that he said are coming true. And Mason Kotcher as well. We look like we're going to put a bid in with Sunderland for him, an England under 18 striker. He could be very, very highly rated. So watch out for that one as well. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with plenty more shows. We've got our final preseason game in America tonight, 10:30 kickoff, so slightly earlier than the previous one. So it'll be interesting to see the players in that one. So probably a match reaction to that, fans forum, and more transfer talk shows as we go through. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get your comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.